Test 1 2 test. What up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Jazzy Talk. Tonight, we got for the first time ever on the stream, Bunch from CasaBunch. And so, what up, Bunch? Thanks for joining me on such short notice. This was actually something that came together, and so just wanted to shout you out, Bunch, for holding it down and being there when I need you. And so, yeah.
Thank you for having me on, man. Like this is an honor. Like I've seen this show for a multitude of times. I watched you on YouTube a fair amount of times a few years back. You actually jumped into my algorithm a few times.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to learn a little bit more about the history of Third Strike.
Yeah. And so Third Strike is not something that you've always been involved in. In fact,
no.
It wasn't really until this season where you ran two Jazzy online events. And again, thank you for willing to help us out with that. And
thanks for having
that out. Like, it was really yeah, no problem. It was really like, I know we got some other Jazzy online streamers, other Joes. In the chat. Shout out to Troy Boy and Jimbo from the Southeast Throwdown crew.
Shout out to Troy.
And speaking of which, remember tomorrow, another Jazzy online event hosted by Southeast Throwdown. And so head on over and register. There's still a chance to qualify through online points. And so make sure you check out the Jazzy Circuit homepage, jazzycircuit.org. and sign up for the next Jazzy online event. Remember that there are two separate leaderboards, one for offline events and another for online events. And so you're free to enter both. And so I encourage all of you to head over to jazzycircuit.org and sign up. If you're not doing anything, you're at home, you're on Fightcade anyway, sign up.
Might as well.
Get on stream, get famous. Speaking of famous, I wanted to talk about your rise to fame.
Oh shit!
No. I mean, you were recently featured on the Evo website in their community spotlight series, and so a lot of people should go ahead and check out that article. But I just wanted to ask you, how did you just get into fighting games? Just in general.
To make a really long story kind of short, it was my next door neighbor. He was he was a frequent at Chinatown Fair, and he was that guy that that has all the games. He has like every single video game, at least to like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old's mind. Like, he's just got walls and walls and walls of video games, and he would always tell me about these stories about Chinatown Fair, about the Justin Wong, Sanford Kellys, and all that stuff. And I was always like competitive. I always wanted to be the best in my house and the best on my block. And then him just being exposed to all of those great players by default just made him better than me. So I was like, man, I gotta get better than this guy. And then eventually, when I was like 15, 16, he brought me to Chinatown Fair. I got to experience like true arcade culture, in my opinion. And then I was addicted to it immediately. I wasn't able to frequent Chinatown Fair as much, so I was basically home. And then online gaming became a thing for consoles. More importantly, like the 360 era. So I was like, that was the first time I experienced fighting games online, and I didn't have to leave my house. I could play a bunch of people. So that was like an experience for me. And then a cool little game called Street Fighter 4 came out in 2009.
Cool little game.
Yeah, totally not important to the fighting game community whatsoever. And I actually hated it when it first came out, and I was like, man, this game sucks. I was like, BlazBlue is way cooler. It's easier to do combos. I had no idea.
Well, why did you think it sucked?
I couldn't do the combos, just like any other kid. I was getting washed, getting washed, getting washed, getting washed. Didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, I can't even do the combos. I'm seeing, like, I went to like Summer Jam in 2009. I didn't even know it was a 3-day tournament. I lost, and I stayed for the rest of like Friday, and then I just went home. And I'm just seeing everybody like play these games so effortlessly, and it was just like, damn, I want to be like that. And over time it just kept going, kept going.
Yeah.
Here I am today.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, the first place I ever played Street Fighter 4 was at CF.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that Henry had made sure that the New York players had ample opportunity to play the game when it launched. And so that was the first time I played it one random night at the CF. And
for $1 games.
Was it really $1?
It was $1.
Wow.
It was $1, and if you won Joe says it's six games in a row, but I remember if you won 3 games in a row, you had to get up. The game would reset, and you would get game over. Yeah.
Henry.
So I hope Joe was right, because Henry out here scamming people.
That makes sense. I distinctly remember there was a limit on win streak.
Yeah,
but much love to Henry. We're gonna talk about your first offline Jazzy Ranking Event happened at Next Level next Saturday. Yeah. But yeah, going back to 4. Yeah, I think the first time I played it was CF, and I think my first impression was it felt a lot like Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, I could see that.
Where it was like they really got down to the basics. It really felt like the team was trying to make the new Street Fighter, but like down to its own essentials. I don't know if you listen to like music, or what types of music you listen to, but like I was a big Metallica fan growing up, and everyone shits on Saint Anger.
Yeah.
Which was,
if it's not the Black Album, throw it out type shit.
Yeah. Well, and so like, but over time, I look back on Saint Anger, and it's like, yeah, like it was really different, but like that's what the band needed.
Yeah.
At that time, and I felt like, yeah, Capcom, I feel like made a concerted effort to be like, okay, like what were the like basics that made Street Fighter so appealing back in the day.
And if you know the history behind that game, that it wasn't even supposed to be what it was. Like it was supposed to be a card game. It was supposed to be a bunch of other things, and it wound up being the game that it is. And kind of this the shot in the arm that the community as a whole needed to get to where we were, because up to like 08, the scene wasn't in the greatest of places. Yeah. So I heard. I wasn't there. Yeah. I'm an 09er.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're an 09er, right?
Yeah. So I'm not gonna jump out there and say I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's funny because I played SF4 for the first time on the East Coast, and then shortly thereafter I went back to the West Coast.
Okay.
And it was really interesting because Henry had them on those Vuelix cabs, right? So, but then when I got back to the West Coast and I was able to go back to Denjin arcade.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. There were cats there playing SF4 on CRT on the candy cabs.
Yeah.
Versus cabs. Like the famous SBO9, or was it SBO8? It might have been the SBO8 auto qualifier when I don't know if you remember, but a bunch of some East Coast players went out there.
Yeah, Joe and Art, I think.
Arturo.
Joe, Art, and Henry, I think, went out there, and Justin maybe.
I don't know. I don't think Justin was there, but yeah, and then there was like a really sick grand finals between Valle and Edma versus Kenai and I think Combo Fiend. The Edma whiff Tatsu in the air, Demon.
Yeah.
That
The
was so
names you
sick.
just dropped, bro, is
Yeah. No, but
crazy.
you remember that whiff Tatsu in the air, the demon gimmick? That was sick. But
Damn.
yeah, it was so weird now that I think about it. Like the first time I played SF4 was on the East Coast at CF,
Hmm.
and it was like on a completely different setup from like what the West Coast was playing.
Were you a full fledged Third Strike player by then?
Oh
Okay. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, let's enough about me. Let's talk about you. So yeah, I know that your game was SF4. So
Hmm.
like, where did Third Strike come into play?
So, um, everybody's kind of chomping at the bit, waiting for Street Fighter 4 to come out. I'm not like I don't even really care. Like I'm like halfway paying attention because like at this point in time, I'm like just playing whatever the hell I can get my hands on. I'm like, I'm playing Gears of War, I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm playing Halo. I'm really focused on DOA 4. Like Dead or Alive 4 was my shit. Like for real, for real. So I was playing that like super hard. I was trash at that too, don't worry. And um my boy who I was playing DOA 4 with was like, yo, let's play some Street Fighter. I'm like, yo, I don't even have Street Fighter. Like I'm not even. And then he's like, no, no, no. Let's, all you need to do is get on your computer. I'm like, what does that mean? So, so he's like walking me through these steps to like download this thing called GGPO, and I'm like, the hell is this? And he's like, yeah, you can just play whatever you want against anybody, and it's free. I'm like, huh? So he's like walking me through the whole thing, and he's like, yeah, let's play Third Strike. I was like, Third Strike? What does Third Strike mean? He was like, Street Fighter 3. I was like, all right, bet. Let's, whatever. Like, just throw it on. And he's washing me. I'm like, oh my God. So I was like fumbling around the cast. I don't even know who's in the game. I'm like, all right, the guy with the blue gloves. All right, let's play him. So like, and like I never even heard of what a target combo was, and he was like telling me about like target combos and whatnot. I'm like, damn, this is pretty dope, but I'm getting washed. I don't feel like playing this anymore. I was that kid. I was like, I'm getting washed. I don't even want to know about it anymore. So I was just like, whatever. Um, HD Remix comes out like a few months before Street Fighter 4 comes out. Getting washed in that, but I'm also learning arcade stick. Like I bought the Hori EX2 little like thing, and I was like, I really want to delve into this. Like I just love the feeling of playing on stick, and I was just like, whatever. Like I'm gonna invest and try and learn this thing no matter what. So I was like playing on everything. I was playing that on everything, and like even if it was like a shmup, I didn't even know that people traditionally played shmups on stick at that time. I was just like, I play it, and then yeah, and then Street Fighter 4 came out. I didn't even think about Third Strike for like 5 more years, and then funny enough, I was training a lot with Tinchi from here from New York, and he was like kind of like not thrilled with Street Fighter 4 at the time. This was like Ultra, and he's like, man, whatever, like we playing Third Strike, and I was just like, man, whatever with that shit. Like enough. You like people that play retro games just can't handle Street Fighter 4. That's what it was. Like the egotistical Street Fighter 4 head just saying the dumbest shit ever. Like, yo, you can't even handle it. Like, just go back to your old man game, whatever. And then like I don't even know why, but like I just sat down one day and I was just like, yeah, I remember playing this shit. Like I could be good at this. So I picked up Akuma, sucked ass. I picked up Ken, sucked ass. I was like, man, whatever. And then and this was like in a few month increments. Like I would play, never touch it. Few months go by, pick up Ken. Few months go by, never play it again. And I was just like, everybody says Chun's godlike, right? All right, bet. Let's play neutral. And I was just like, I was just feeling the power. I was doing back fierces and stuff, and I was just like scrubbing people out. And I was like, damn, I'm kind of nice. I'm like, yo, I could feel like the power of this character without having to work hard. I was just like, all right, let's run it. Let's see how far I can get with it. And then like other people that I had met along the way were like helping me out with the game. So like I would run into Duke, Hardbread, for those that don't know. Like he legitimately is like one of my best teachers in all of fighting games. He's just like, he would wash me and be like, yo, you could do like these two things, and it would take me to the next level. And I'm like, man, like I can't let myself get washed like that again. All right, figure it out. And then I was just like, I keep like hitting an obstacle, and it was like, all right, I didn't get 10-0 that bad. It was like I was getting washed, but and then it, like a 10-2, then it would turn into 10-2, then 10-4. And then by this time, I'm like, I moved out of New York. I had to go to Boston for work, and I would come down, and he'd be at my friend Martin's house, and I'd be like, yo, you want to play a quick first of 10 before I go back to Boston? And it's like 10-5, 10-6, 10-7. All right, we're getting there. We're getting somewhere with this guy. And it just kept getting more and more addicting. And then like, I was just like, man, fuck it. If I can go down there to some of the meetups, then I'm gonna do it. So like it just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and then like suddenly I was like getting addicted to the game. I was like, wait, I thought I didn't like this shit. And then suddenly I was like, all right, cool, let's rock. And yeah, so it's kind of my guilty pleasure game on the low.
I don't know how low that
it's not low anymore. It's not low anymore, right?
You're being on Jazzy Talk tonight.
I'm like, how long can I fake this funk, bro? I'm just out here like, baby.
And so during this time,
you like a game when you get pissed that you're losing.
Yeah. But you're someone who plays multiple games. So while you're grinding in Third Strike, are there other games that you were, were you still playing for? Obviously you were, right?
So when I was playing Tinchi, that was like 2014. So that was gearing up for the last year, 2015 of the last year of 4, and I was like, I was already kind of like, man, I should probably like knock it off with these fighting game stuff. Like it's not really going anywhere. Street Fighter 5 is coming out. It doesn't really look cool. I don't like any of the characters. And then I was like, you know what? Like let's just keep going. We like this fighting game thing because the people, right? It's more about the community. So I'm like, all right, cool. Community's cool. I'm playing Street Fighter 5, but the thing about Street Fighter 4 is that it was never around when Street Fighter 5 came out. That's the one thing about Street Fighter players is like they'll never play the game that just died. They'll always mess around with the retro game, but they'll never mess with the game that just died. Like no one's playing Street Fighter 5 right now. There's like a few people that are trying to do the whole revival thing, but like they're not. Nah, stop it. The same thing that happened with Street Fighter 4 when Street Fighter 5 came out. So like everybody was like, "Oh, we playing this?" I'm like, "All right, let's go." And that's when I got more into like a mentorship role too, for like the players that are trying to come up. I'm like, if I can't get to the next level, then I'm gonna try and give the newer players a fundamental basis so that they can take it to the next level. And some of them have, like they've made it out of pools, they've made it to top 24s and stuff. But like whenever I get bored, I don't have to sit there and keep playing the modern game. I can just be like, all right, let's go play Third Strike.
Yeah. So speaking of like players not playing the previous game, what do you think about where like 5 left off as far as just kind of like the overall meta of the game? And
I think if we got Street Fighter 5 in its definitive package at the end at season 1, it would have been on its way to be the greatest fighting game ever. But like the potholes and the hurdles and the obstacles that it hit all the way to the 7th year to get to where it was just like it was a bit of a blow to all the momentum that the community had built with Street Fighter 4. Whether you hated or loved Street Fighter 4, the momentum that it built was like astronomical and did so many favors for so many other titles, and like gave gave other developers the feeling that they could do it too. So like, I don't know what any other like developers' plans were during like the dark ages, but like seeing Street Fighter 4, they were like, all right, let's let's put out this game. Like we weren't getting like the best KOFs at the time, and like everybody was like, like, all right, well, KOF 13, that's dope. All right, cool, bang. And then like the people that didn't love Street Fighter 4 tried those other games out. Same thing with Street Fighter 5, right? So like all the people that weren't thrilled with Street Fighter 5, they went to Tekken, they went to this, they went to that. I wound up going to a bunch of different games, but I also went to, Third Strike.
Yeah. I think one thing we have to keep in mind too is a lot of the retro games, at least back then, like their priority wasn't, oh, let's make the best game that we can,
right,
for tournaments, right? Like,
yeah.
So like it's interesting to think about like the history of the FGC, like the development of these games happens parallel to the development of the FGC, and so now when these modern games are coming out, they are obviously now catering to this tournament scene that the FGC has helped create. So
Right.
I think it's important to like think about like what the motivation.
Yeah, they weren't even they weren't even focused on the online aspect for so long. Yeah. Like sure the game might have had online capabilities, but it wasn't like the greatest experience. Like they were trying to like make sure that like people were still playing their game in an arcade, or like they just assumed that like people wanted this for like a novelty thing, just to be like, oh yeah, I own this copy of this game or whatever. Like there was no like competitive thought for some fighting games for a very long time, but that shift gradually changed, which was amazing to see. But I wish it hadn't taken so long, and there's still a few games that are still a little iffy. Yeah. But we're getting there.
Because I think about how SF5 ended, and compare that to how SF4 ended. A lot of people like to point to the last Evo and what happened during that match, and that was kind of an unfortunate end.
You're talking about 2015?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that wasn't on the game, but more so the peripherals.
Yeah.
So like that was more a shot in the ass for Razer, which is cool because like that company is a little, I don't want to call it too strong, but like the competition that Razer has, because they're so interwoven with PC components and peripherals, that they don't have to focus entirely on fighting game stuff. Yeah. Even though fighting games kind of like we were making sure that Razer was doing okay.
So tell me a little bit more about CasaBunch. And so CasaBunch started as an online thing, and you focused mainly on modern games. And so, like we talked about earlier, this season you ran 2 Jazzy online events for Third Strike. But correct me if I'm wrong, but before the season, did you ever run like did CasaBunch, the brand CasaBunch, ever host a tournament for a retro game?
Yeah. So, man, I'm drawing a blank. But there was a time where we ran ST online. So and it was a one-off thing. I don't even remember what it was for, but it was some type of like circuit or whatever. And
might have been the Maturino Cup.
Yes, it was Maturino Cup for sure. Shout out Sermi. He reached out to us and was like, "Yo, do Maturino Cup, this, that, and the other. It's for ST," and we were literally trying to figure it out on the fly. Like I don't even remember how it looked, but it was fun. I remember everybody on the staff was like, "Yo, this is mad fun. Like the games are mad quick. We're not waiting for anybody." That's the one thing I love about the retro community, is that they're here to play. they're like, yo, let's go. Because most of them are like, up there in age, no disrespect, but like they're trying to play so that they can go to bed and like, because they know that they have like work in the morning or whatever. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting you point that out. Like, as I guess what you're saying is, as players get older, it's less about the social aspect and more about the actual competitive experience, right? Like making sure,
Yeah.
because that's what they signed up for, just to have that feeling of competing
Well,
at a high
it's two
level.
things. It's two things because it's like obviously they already do the like just they've already done the social thing, right? Like they've already been here, done that type shit, and then there's no feeling that they're used to doing the social shit online. So they're like, what are we doing? Let's just play, and then whatever. If you want to like, if we want to get into like the Fike chat, then we can do that later. Whatever. Yeah, but they're here strictly business, in and get out, and they're. I have not felt any type of negativity or toxicity when it comes to retro games. I know I haven't run a lot of tournaments for it, but everybody's super respectful and on time for the most part and ready to rock out. So
Yeah. So I was saying before, you ran 2 Jazzy online events, and what was that experience like? Because again, you don't really have too many. CasaBunch doesn't really have too many retro tournaments under their belt. So
right.
yeah, like tell me how those experiences went for you and your
Again,
team.
thank you
Yeah.
so much for having us do Jazzy online stuff. I know this is like your first crack at it, so I definitely wanted to make sure that we did our best to showcase that this is something that people could use as a tool to learn the game and as a tool to qualify for the event. So I do appreciate that. But the to answer your question, it was fun. It was a learning experience. Again, my team had a blast. We didn't have the full crew there. Obviously, we enlisted some commentary from the community. Shout outs to Frankie. Shout outs to Dr. Steelhammer. Shout outs to Venkabot. And yeah, it was just like fast paced gaming. Um, we never really had a lot of downtime because everybody was just trying to play, like I was saying, and everybody was super grateful. So like I'm trying to think of anything that I would want more than a grateful community that just wants to play and get it over with.
Yeah. Well, we're glad that CasaBunch, you agreed to host those 2 Jazzy online events,
Yeah.
and we're even happier that next Saturday, I'll be there,
Mhm.
and we're bringing Third Strike back to next level.
Yeah, you're
Casa de
bringing
Azul is offline.
you're you're bringing Third Strike back to the next level, and then you're bringing me back to offline because I've been I took a little bit of a year hiatus or so from running any type of like offline stuff in my own name. So this is definitely putting a battery in my back. But Casa de Azules, an offline Jazzy ranking event at Next Level 874 4th Avenue in Brooklyn. So please come through. $300 pop bonus already. The entry fee will be free for the event. You do have to pay venue. Shout outs to Henry. We got to make sure the lights stay on. But on top of that, I haven't even announced it on Twitter yet. I was just dumb. The winner, I'm just gonna flat out pay for their venue and entry for the auto qualifier in May 18th at Brooklyn Arcade. So if you need a way into the tournament, come win my shit, bro. Like there's money on it. And this is not the last time we're gonna do this. We're gonna try and do this monthly, as long as we have Jazzy Circuit's blessing. we're gonna try and make sure that New York has a solid entry point to these points.
Yeah, shout outs to again Henry, Next Level, Steve, Brooklyn Games for hosting the auto qualifier.
Yep.
And so yeah, the first ever CasaBunch Jazzy Ranking Event happening May 30th. Again at Next Level. That is a Saturday, 8 p.m. Start time.
Yeah.
But before you go to that, make sure you go this Saturday to Brooklyn Games Jazzy Ranking Event.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and so expecting to see a lot of strong players come out. And yeah, shout outs to you, Bunch. Free entry, 300 pot bonus. I think this is a really good opportunity. If anyone's listening and you live in the New York area, you want to try out Third Strike. For those of you who don't know, Third Strike is a main game at Evo. And so, this would be a really good opportunity to come down the basement. And we got to shout out TSB, of course, who is running their event on the same day.
Yes.
And for so graciously allowing us to share that space. We're going to be in the basement, like old times.
That's where we like it.
Where the cabs are, where all the retro stuff usually happens.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, check out, the TSB site now. Sorry, I should have had that URL handy, but going to be a busy Saturday, next Saturday at Next Level. But yeah, before you do that, check out the Brooklyn ranking event this Saturday. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit more about just Third Strike. I did mention Third Strike was at Evo, but this is the 25th anniversary of the game. And so, I just wanted to ask you, both from like a player perspective, but also from like a TO perspective or like a content creator perspective, like what is it about Third Strike? We all know the lore, at least, as far as the big moments are concerned, but like for you, like what is it about Third Strike that makes it fun to play? And what is it about Third Strike that makes it fun to watch?
I knew you were gonna ask me this question. I was actually like making my my tea before this, and I was like, I know he's gonna be like, well, why this game? And I'm like, there's like, I'm like drawing a blank on what I answered it, but I'm gonna try and like spitball a little bit. But like there's like an elegance to it, right? Where like the games that came out during that era were like kind of they were a little wacky. When I think of like the big three, like the CVS 2, the Marvel 2, and Third Strike, like of those three games, like Third Strike was kind of like the most like leveled. Like it was like obviously there's the broken shit in it. There like Urian exists, Yon exists, Chun-Li, whatever. But like there's still a feeling of like if I master this, then there's always a way. And I always love that feeling when it comes to fighting games, is like as long as I'm good enough, there's always a way. Like I never feel out of it unless it's like a true checkmate situation. Whereas like, those other games, like you can get zoned out by Storm and Sentinel, and like you're like, yo, what the hell? Like I really can't get in. Like I gotta hold that, and then you feel like you're doing something in CVS2, but then you start getting roll canceled on, and you're like, wait, well, what happened? Like where it's like if you play solid fundamentals and you've got a solid parry game, that alone can take you so far in Third Strike. And then from there, it's just like the knowledge, just learning matchup after matchup after matchup, and it's just like it's beautiful because it's never ending. Because like like I'll sit here and smoke all the people that play top tiers, and then I'll run into somebody like you who plays Necro, and I'm like, wait, hold on, like what the hell? Like and it's I'm losing only because I don't know the intricacies, and I'm getting exposed for it. And I think that to me is like the most beautiful thing.
Yeah. Are you saying that Third Strike is the game of hope? Is that what you're saying?
I'm
Bunch.
saying Street Fighter in general, when it's a good game, it's always the game of hope, where it's like, yo, all right, I might be down 40%, but let me hunker down and like actually work this fool real quick, like, and then
Yeah.
you see magic happen, like you'll see like, you know, sure, the Daigo parry, but like there's so many other moments that like you can encapsulate and be like, this is the reason why I love Third Strike. This is the reason why I love Third Strike, or this is the reason. And you know, it can have nothing to do with your character, or it could be the only thing you care about is your character.
Yeah.
And like that's, and we didn't even get into the aesthetics of the game. Like the game itself is like one of the most beautiful fighting games ever created. Um, Audibly, it's one of the most beautiful games ever created. Um, you know, it's, you can just go on and on about the game. Like there's it feels like there's no ceiling in that game.
Yeah. You know, I as I look back on the game and its history, and after reading some of the recorded material from developer interviews, uh, you can make an argument that it was Third Strike's, I guess, quote unquote, fault that fighting games are this way. Because when you think about the parry, this is the comeback mechanism, right? But the
Okay.
only difference is that the player is the comeback, right? So like you
That's
can't
my
even
point.
be mad, right?
No.
Because it wasn't like something that you could just do in the
Right.
game, whether it was
Exactly.
FADC or you know all the other stuff that's happening in 6, right?
Right.
Like perfect parry and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like to me, Third Strike makes like the player the comeback mechanism, and that makes
Yeah.
it like really hype. But you also like you have to hold it, right? There's always this sense that like, well, I didn't have to press that button.
Yeah.
Like, there would
Yeah.
have been nothing to parry if I hadn't done it. And
Right.
so you can't even really be mad as opposed to like
Yeah.
some other comeback mechanics in other games.
Yeah. And then like the mechanic itself is like thrown on top of its head. It's like if you actually study the game for what it is, it's like, okay, well, had you known that after pumping a parry, they're susceptible and can't parry after a certain amount of frames, and you could have seized that moment knowing that they were gonna pump parry in that situation, but you weren't paying attention 7 interactions ago when they put you in the situation and they pump parry, and it's like, damn. And you start looking around, you're like, all right, you're right. Like,
You really
as
can't
much
get mad at anyone.
you can't get mad at anybody. You
Yeah.
have to hold that shit. You have to be better,
Yeah.
and you have to stop teching on wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's stupid. That's why you got here, dummy. Stop teching.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Third Strike, like you said, is great for all those reasons. Um but like what about like as from the viewer perspective? Because like you were talking about how like Third Strike's really fast. Like I always feel like whenever Third Strike gets like a big stage, people get hyped for it. People love
I
it.
think I think I think it's probably. I'm trying to think of like it's got to be in like the top 5 spectator fighting game sports. Like it's
Wow,
like
okay.
it's got to be up there. Like what are you gonna say? Marvel 2,
Like
Marvel 2, Marvel
Marvel 3 was
3.
really fun to watch.
Yeah, Marvel 2, Marvel 3 are probably like up there. I probably give Marvel 3 the edge because of the variety and diversity, right? And then like after that, you gotta throw a Tekken in there, whatever your Tekken of choice is, whether it's 5, 7, 8, whatever. And then like when we
VF5
start
maybe VF5. I like
VF5,
watching
if you're into
VF5.
that, like if you know the game, that's a whole nother conversation. If
Yeah.
you know VF5, then it should be number 1. But like for the people that aren't like studied or or experienced in that game, I would say like these games, and then we're like, okay, well, there's no Street Fighter on this yet, so like, what are we gonna do? And you're like, you're really gonna throw Street Fighter 6 up there over like the the game that has like inspired arguably millions? Yes, the game isn't you know as accepted as maybe like Street Fighter 6, but like a lot of the people that are here because of the Daigo Perry, or they watched Cooperation Cup, or they tuned into Jazzy Circuit one year and they're like, damn, that was sick. There's there's always something that says, yo, like, but Third Strike though? Like, there's always that instance where it's always gonna be like, yeah, that game's cool, but Third Strike? Like Guilty Gear is cool and all, but like that unblockable that on that Oro setup, like, that young Ganasian where everybody in the crowd is now cheering for like literally the villain, which is crazy. Like an actual mechanic in the game makes people cheer for the villain.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah, it's magic.
Well, I'm looking forward to the offline event at Next Level. Good to have Third Strike back at the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And so definitely looking forward to those games. And again, this Saturday at Brooklyn Games. And so I thought maybe what we could do to wrap up the show a bunch is talk a little bit about what's going on in the circuit. Kind of give everyone, sort of an update on things that have been happening. And so first big news, congratulations to Houston, Third Strike player, Big Nasty, the hero of many, who has finally qualified for the 16-player Jazzy finale at Jazzy Finale weekend. Caesar, aka Big Nasty, has won the hearts of many in the scene bunch for his unwavering commitment to Hugo.
Oh shit!
And that commitment was in full display this past Saturday when in grand finals he switched to Urian to beat DJ Isco to win the auto qualifier. So shout outs to Caesar. But hey, to be fair, Necro Hugo is not a great matchup, but I think Hugo still wins that matchup. Maybe that's just the self-deprecator in me, but sure. I think Hugo wins that matchup. But anyway, that is neither here nor there. I just want to give a shout outs to Big Nasty for finally qualifying for the Jazzy finale. And so,
you know what? Good for him for having a backup.
Yeah.
No, people need to stop playing one character. They need to have multiple characters.
Yeah, and so shout outs to him for winning his first auto qualifier. And
sure.
Looking forward to seeing him at the Jazzy finale weekend, which again is at Akihabara Arcade. By the way, you can get tickets for the Jazzy finale now. You can head over to start.gg/Jazzy3S. Again, Akihabara Arcade, June 21st to 23rd. Colorado, Westminster, Colorado. It's going to be a great time. Just waiting for the page to load here. But we're going to have teams. We're going to have singles. We had an SF4 tournament last year, bunch.
I heard about that.
If you come to the finale, is that free for you? Are you going to let some Third Strike players beat you at SF4?
As long as Chris doesn't show up, I should be able to clean that up.
Well, I heard that there was some sleeper SF4 talent among the Third Strike players last year.
Oh, you know who else? Synapse. If Synapse
Synapse ran it.
Yeah, chill.
Synapse ran it last year. Oh, we're gonna get Bunch versus Synapse.
I got some characters to talk to jury, but like I really don't want to go that route.
All right. Well, shout outs to Akihabara Arcade for being such a gracious host. Looking forward to making this year even better. Again, June 21st to June 23rd, Jazzy finale weekend, Westminster, Colorado. And so let's talk a little bit more about the immediate future. I know we've been hyping up next weekend's Jazzy ranking event at Next Level, but
Mhm.
we got a lot of stuff going on this week, Bunch.
Oh, talk
Uh,
to me. Talk to me.
and so let's go ahead and take a look at some of these ranking events that are coming up. And so first up, we have on March 23rd, Fight Club 2, which is the monthly for the indie scene.
Mhm.
Which happens at Boss Battle Games, my favorite type of arcade, Bunch, because it is an arcade in a mall. Those
Ooh,
those those are um they have a special place in my heart. The mall arcades.
yeah.
The mall arcades hit different, you know.
As a Californian,
Woo!
I bet this
Whoosh!
does all the things for you as a
Ooh, ooh,
Californian.
those mall arcades. um, but yeah, Boss Battle Games is at a mall in Indianapolis. Boss Battle Games was the host of an auto qualifier during season 3.
Okay.
And so they have 22 players already. And so shout outs to the indie third strike scene for holding it down and helping Jazzy out, getting the word out there, getting more people to play third strike. And so shout outs to the indie third strike scene. Max Mode. Not sure how much you've heard about this event, Bunch, but
I've heard about it. I've heard about it, but
uh,
yeah, and it's a shame that I'm not going to be able to go
yeah.
this weekend to Max Mode, ran by the Data FGC folk,
Mm-hmm.
trying to bring a regional slash major back to Atlanta. So yeah, big ups to all the folks over at Data, and I know that this is going to be run really well.
Yeah. And Data FGC, I kind of see them as third strike guys, you know, and so shout outs to them hosting third strike.
Yep.
And so definitely check out Max Mode. I think tickets are still available. It says that you could still join.
Okay.
And so yeah, hopefully, let's see. Let's before we
At worst, buy a spectator pass and go check
yes.
out the
Yes.
action in real time.
Yeah.
Don't
So
get caught
yeah.
slipping out there.
Yeah, so if you're in the area, yeah, looks like you could still is it just spectator now? Oh, I think it's just spectator now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it's all right. Well, yeah, just check it out
that's
then.
good.
You know,
Yeah,
I'm sure you there's some casual setups there. Just kind of get a feel for what FGC events have to offer. And so yeah, shout out to Data FGC for bringing back that FGC big level event down in Atlanta with Max Mode. And so yeah, that's going to take place March 22nd to 24th. The third strike tournament is going to be on Saturday. And so looking forward to seeing who earns themselves a nice chunk of points from that event. Uh, we're not even done yet, Bunch. There's a bunch of events this
I'm here, baby.
Saturday.
I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm so excited by
yeah.
all these
Uh,
tournaments.
so
This
we
is
have
so sick.
we have a Jazzy ranking event out in Moorhead, Kentucky. Mashup
Who,
presents March Mashness. March
who the
Mashness.
who
These
the
names
hell
are
is in
sick.
Kentucky, bro?
Yeah.
What
Third
the
strike is
hell?
everywhere. That's the power of the game.
That's
It's because it's the game of hope. You heard it here for the first
it is
time, according to the
it's
bunch.
it is the game of hope. You're never out. You're never out.
And so Mashup presents March Mashness $200 pot bonus. And so we have third strike happening on Saturday. And so definitely check that out. They have 6 players now. In order for the event to put out points, you have to have at least 8 entrants. And so pretty confident that Mashout is going to make sure that everyone who competes gets points for the Jazzy Circuit.
You know what I like to say when I see events with like low numbers? I'm like, yo, it's free then, right? Like you should be able to walk in and just body everybody. There's
Yeah,
nobody there.
yeah,
It's
and
free.
yeah, and again, we want everyone to be playing Third Strike.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Don't even look at how many people are signed up.
yeah,
You make sure you sign up.
yeah. Of course, we got the Third Strike Jazzy Ranking Event at Brooklyn Games this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I will be on hand, and so kind of curious to see who shows up. So that means Brooklyn's gonna have two Jazzy Ranking events in a row.
Yep.
Uh,
2 Saturdays in a row.
yeah, and so this is a great time for players to, like you said, Bunch earlier, start revving up for the auto qualifier at
Yeah.
Brooklyn Games. It's gonna be the last because for the past few years, the Brooklyn or the East Coast auto qualifier has always been first,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of wanted that because I wanted to be able to like start the circuit off like like a solid kind of footing,
Yeah.
set the tone, if you
Set the
will.
tone. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Set the pace.
but we kind of did something different here, and we put in the Brooklyn auto qualifier last, and so I do know that there are some people from out of town planning to come out, and so yeah, looking forward to that Jazzy Ranking event this Saturday at Brooklyn Games and Arcade, the home of the Season 5 Jazzy Brooklyn Auto Qualifier. And I think we have a couple more this weekend.
Damn.
I don't know what's
For real?
going on with my
This is
tablet
actually.
today.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, and so we can't forget about the Lone Star State bunch, Texas Strong. We got some Third Strike events going on in Texas too. We have Arcade. Shout outs to Cedric in Hurst. And so this is where the DFW, the Dallas Fort Worth Third Strike players are. And so there's going to be a Third Strike tournament. Okay, actually that's next Saturday.
Okay.
No, but there is still a tournament. My apologies. There is still a tournament this weekend in Texas. It's going to be at Free Play, not
There
Free
we
Play
go.
Arlington, but Free Play Richardson. Shout outs to Free
Okay.
Play for being the host for the Season 3 Jazzy Auto Qualifier. And there, my tablet just died. So we're gonna have
Oh
to.
no.
I thought we had enough battery for that, but hey, I
Oh
just made
no.
it right. I just
Yeah.
got done listing the events, and so yeah, there's a bunch of events on Saturday. There's the Texas event in Richardson on
Okay.
Sunday, and then we got another slew of events next weekend. And so yeah, Third Strike is alive. There are a lot of people playing it all over the country, and at the end of the day, that's one of the things that Jazzy wanted to do was to bring attention to that,
Yeah.
and I definitely encourage other scenes. If you think you're a small scene, maybe you have done this already, but reach out, see if there are any pockets. Like there was a period in time where whenever I went on Twitch, like it didn't matter who was streaming it. Like if you were streaming Third Strike, I would follow you, right? Like it was just
Mhm.
kind of like seeking out all those, if you really feel like your game is really sick, see who else is playing it,
Yeah.
and yeah, just kind of bringing awareness to all the activity around your game can really help the scene. And so shout outs to everyone around the country for keeping Third Strike alive. Shout outs to you, Bunch, for doing your part, not just for the online Third Strike players, but also for the New York Third Strike players. And so before we get out of here, wanted to know if you had any shout outs, things you wanted to end with before we call it a night.
Yeah. First off, thank you. I want to give a shout outs to the entire Jazzy Circuit, not just you, but all the staff that you have behind behind the curtain. I honestly, because I'm and shame on me, but like because I'm part of the Jazzy Circuit this time, like I finally paid a little bit more attention as to like how much effort and time and hard work goes into running this 5-6 month period. And I have to say this is like mind blowing. It's pretty insane. So big shout outs to you first and foremost for spearheading this, but all the people that you have back there too doing the damn thing. Secondly, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to my Casa team. Those guys literally just put a battery in my back every single day, making sure that like whatever positive thing I'm trying to do, I know for a fact that it's like it's supported, and it's just like they're like go do it, whatever it is, make sure it's the dopest you can do it. So big ups to them for keeping me motivated whenever I kind of don't feel like it. And then yeah, shout outs to the Third Strike community. I thought it was just a New York thing where like everybody was just being like genuinely like nice and like making sure that like I'm I'm a better player overall, but like the the two times that I went to Frosty Faustings, literally everybody at the Third Strike cabs are like, yo, like play, make sure you play. And like, the one time I got to game lead for Frosty for Third Strike, everybody was like super nice and like made sure that like I had everything that I needed to make sure that the event ran smooth. Like they understand on both ends that it's like it has to like the person running it needs the support as well. It can't just be like a one-sided thing. It's like, all right, cool, this guy wants to run a pool, let me get up, let me not be that guy. Okay, let me not be late. This is my moment to play Third Strike. Anybody still playing Third Strike or is learning Third Strike wants to be here, and that's the best part. So big ups to them, big ups to everybody, big ups to the world, and rest in peace, Broly Legs.
Yeah, R.I.P. So before we get out of here, once again, Casa de Azules first offline event, March 30th. That's a Saturday at Next Level. I'll be there. Bunch will be there. And so, definitely check it out. Free entry, $300 prize pool. And it will be streamed from twitch.tv/CasaBunch. Also, tomorrow, again, don't forget to register for another Jazzy online event separately.
I was wondering when you're going to talk about the online stuff, man. Fronting on us, man.
We talked about it earlier, remember?
No, but like you were shouting out all the other tournaments.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Online tournaments.
I got you. All
right.
I had this set up. So yeah, so shout out to the Southeast Throwdown team. This will be, I believe, their third straight Jazzy online event. So really holding it down for that midweek. One of the things that we really wanted to try to do this season bunch when we were scheduling the online events were to try and pick different days, trying to spread them out. And so Southeast Throwdown really holding it down for that midweek, because there are players that might prefer to enter a tournament in the middle of the week, like you were saying, Bunch, blow off some steam, hard day at work, whether on site or remote. And so, maybe sometimes these players want to, just throw their hat in the ring and just kind of compete and have a good time. And so, shout outs to Troy and Jimbo and Flanneljack and everyone over there holding it down for that midweek Third Strike.
Word.
Again, this weekend, go to Max Mode, get a spectator pass, check it out. Bunch of different games: Third Strike, Six, Melty Blood, Guilty Gear, KOF, Tekken, Samurai Showdown. Nice. Grand Blue, Under Night. We got Mortal Kombat, and we got MVC3. I like it.
Yep.
I think there are going to be some community games too. So definitely check out Max Mode this weekend, March 22nd to 24th, Norcross, Georgia. And finally, next auto qualifier, 3 down.
Woo!
2 more to go. Next one, Chicago, April 20th, Logan Arcade. This is going to be a good one. Last year, what an event. The energy in that place, Bunch, was just electric. It was, really hype. And like big crowds, that's hype too. But it's a different kind of hype, and I think there's room for all different types of experience, and that's the thing that like Jazzy's most proud of, being able to kind of create that experience in that venue, along with Logan Arcade, everyone that was part of that team, making sure that the auto qualifier went off without a hitch, and so Versaga from the PNW Pacific Northwest actually came to the auto qualifier last year and took their spot. Looking to see Chicago run it back, come back strong, defend home turf. And that's what makes these auto qualifiers hype too, because there's always this like implied pressure, right? That, oh, you know, we can't let these out of towners.
Yo, don't let it be you. Yo, don't let it be. Hey, New York, I'm telling you right now, don't let it be you, man. I already roasted the Street Fighter 6 community. Don't. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
I'm already questioning the New York scene for Third Strike. There is one man holding the mantle, and it is scary. How he he is bodying everybody on these online tournaments, but nah, there's gotta be some flaws in his game, and we need to find it as a community. So yeah, but yeah, nah, big ups to the Chicago community. I ran into a lot of the Logan guys at Frosty Faustings. They're really dope. I made the mistake of cheering for Shinebox a little too loud, and we got into a shouting contest. I was like, damn, whoops. Whoops.
Yeah, Logan Arcade Third Strike scene. They really are a tightly knit group.
Yeah, so, I love that.
I really love the energy there too. And so yeah, April 20th, Logan Arcade, the next auto qualifier. You can register right now, start.gg/Jazzy Logan, and be there. Shout outs to Mr. Part 2 for holding it down and being the lead for this event. And looking forward to seeing another round of high-level Third Strike as we see who else is going to qualify for the Jazzy finale this season. And yeah. And so there you have it. Again, busy weekend, busy March for Jazzy. Yep. And so go out, watch some Third Strike, support your locals. And yeah, until next time, I'll see y'all next Tuesday. And so thank you again, Bunch, for coming to the show. And
it's an honor and a pleasure.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I'll see y'all next time. Take care, everyone.